Come on in the space, move on like a floor. Don't free and come on a little dog. And they can't come on, walk over. You can reach me, space cool like ET. It's the floor trying to call me. I was up tripping early in the morning. I'm away to the Gucci on my shit. Woke up in the house and I was running like, look. Till I ran into the mud. I done ran into some right, I done ran into your club. Why the floor should be up? I done came up the window. Floor. I don't even understand my clothes up. Come on in the space, move on like a floor. Don't free and come on a little dog. Call me on my phone, say, I make money when I talk. I'm a boss, nigga, low. I can get this shit to you. Sit on the knee, I got a rack. She gonna let me go. I said, kids in the room, 12 on my G, and I start to me. And my racks is no old sticky. I need you. I don't even understand my clothes up. Come on in the space, my clothes up. Don't free and come on a little dog. And they can't come on the floor.
Don't give me a name, I don't need to know. We can take it now. Let's just feel it right now, right now. We're not fading love. We're not fading love. We're not fading love. We're not fading love. I can feel every breath on the edge of my mind. I can't think alone. Just follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me home. Oh, I turn all the time and I don't know what's next, but I know that it's on. Just follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me home. Makes us feel makes us feel try to miss the sweet. This is risky. This is risky. We can make it out. This is risky. Right now, right now. And I'm not fading love.
When it comes to cash loans, our customers will tell you there's only one choice: Cash Money. It's home of the original 300 for 20, where you can get a $300 cash loan for just $20. And with Cash Money's express approval, if you need more than $300, you can get it in minutes. And if that's not enough, we've got a kangaroo as our mascot. Okay, 300 for 20 is probably enough. So for cash loans for people who really care, come to Cash Money, home of the original 300 for 20.
Cash money, love my cash money.
And now, Express Station, let's introduce the starting lineup for the visiting Niagara Lions, presented by Tourism Windsor Essex Media. Starting off, number 0, Jalen Tate. Number 9 is Gio Picard. Number 14, Chris Joseph. Number 15, Sam Wolfro. And number 24, Devontae Pollard. The head coach of the Niagara is Joe Russell.
I see your eyes on camera flash and tease that
Yeah, the frames dropped. Let's do this again.
And now, sweet. Let's get it on with number 3, Logan Stutz. A new guy in the top 5, number 5, O.R. Strong. Give it up for Mr. Mojo, Maurice Jones. Wearing number 23, he is Shaquille T. And number 44, Devontre Harris. The head coach of the Windsor Express is Bill Jones. Assistant coaches are Pete Cusimano, Aaron McDonald, and Rick Hart. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please rise and remove your caps for the playing of the national anthem. Tonight's national anthem will be performed by Jesse Anthony Sheeran. Joining Jesse at center court carrying the Canadian flag is Ron Foster, who is the executive director of the Windsor Regional Hospital Foundation and is our father and grandfather of the game. The Windsor Express and Curtis J.K. Brinton would like to acknowledge and show our appreciation to our dedicated fathers all season long by highlighting someone new each game, thanks to Ron and Curtis J.K. Brinton.
Oh, come down, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free, from far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for
Thank you very much, Jesse, for coming out tonight. If you or any school, choir, or community group wants to get on board and be involved, you too can perform the national anthem. Find out how on our website, windsorexpress.ca. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to center court to deliver tonight's game ball, Elaine Staten, who is the co-chair of the Hacks on for Healthcare for the Morris Sutton Funeral Homes Team of the Game. Joining Elaine at center court for tonight's ceremonial ball toss is Richard Benedili. Richard is the president of the Windsor Regional Hospital Foundation. And we can have two setters at center court for the ceremonial tip-off. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you, Richard. And now, are you ready? Ready for some Windsor Express basketball? Come on, Express Nation, let's make some noise and raise the roost. Niagara Falls, number 15, Sam Muldrow, team first. Sam Muldrow. Jones and another track 53-pointer. Chris Joseph. Windsor Express basketball planning from March the 12th through the 16th, instructed by the Express coaches and players, and held at the YMCA Central Park Athletics. It makes for a great way to spend your March break. Register online at ymcawo.ca/Windsor-Central Park or in person at the YMCA Central Park Athletics. Hope to see you there. And Express Nation, the Dance Squad is hosting an Express Dance Camp on Saturday, March 17th. Come out and enjoy yourself with the Dance Squad. And led by our choreographer, Amber Diaz. Ages 7 through 17 are welcome, and to register, please visit our website at www.windsorexpress.ca.
Chris Joseph. Once again, the Little Lions of the Express got each other's numbers, and the Express picked up the last two victories against the Woodbury by keep. Chris Joseph immediately applying damage, and the Little Lions are 2. Once again, he's one of those new guys that just leaves the Little Lions comfortably.
Niagara fouls number 9, Gio, picked up a blue card. His first, team second. Niagara fouls number 15, Sam Muldrow, his second, team third. Express foul number 23, Shaquille Keith, team first. Devontae Pollard. No basket.
Yeah, man, to fix it.
Niagara foul number 24, Devontae Pollard. His first, team fourth. In the game for Niagara, number 13, Adam Klein.
And welcome back to the WFCU Center as the Windsor Express and the Niagara River Lions are still in action here midway through the first quarter. I'm Justin Prince, alongside me is Aaron Sanders. And before we begin after the media timeouts, for those who have not been able to hear us completely, we'd like to apologize for any audio issues we have had throughout the entire first quarter for this one. We have been working on it throughout the entire time right now, and we apologize for anything that may have come from that. On the bright side, you can hear the nice crowd here tonight with a lot of cheering so far, Aaron.
And you know what? They have every reason to be excited for it because it's been a close game so far. I guarantee you most of the fans that came here from last night's game are still here tonight. So a close game like this really works out in their favors. But for the Express, they really got to work on finishing strong and converting those defensive efforts as a three-point play is made. But the River Lions, to their credit, they're doing a real good job attacking the basket.
Yeah, the River Lions definitely doing really good in that department today. And that is why they're up by 7 so far. Make it back to what has gone to a 5-point game as Shaquille Keith makes the layup inside. Meanwhile, drawn charge, and that is from Keith.
And now to the credit of the Windsor Express, they are now taking advantage of the situation. Now defensively, they got to stop forming those clusters because that would prompt them to get fouled. On the other end, that was a good charge right there. So they got to capitalize on that, and I think a player like Shaquille Keith could bring him back up to justice and bring him back within 5.
Meanwhile, Racing gets the pass from Keith, pulls out from the mid-range as that bounces off the front rim. Rebounded by Kalai as this is going to be brought down by Tate. Finds Boucard, cutting through the defense, passing through the traffic. Able to get the pump fake as Wood. Klee passes inside. No idea where the intended target was there because it was a wide open paint.
That was an awkward situation right there. Quick whistle.
And that is going to be a turnover as he steps on the sideline, Shaquille Keith.
And you know, that was an awkward situation right there. Adam Klee tried to go with a high-low pass, a bounce pass that did not work in their favor because of the coverage of the Windsor Express. They did a tremendous job taking care of business, and now they have to do that on the other end of the court and not make mistakes like that.
And that's for sure, that especially in what has been a close game to start off. Wood, though, trying to change that and gets the triple.
See, I said at the beginning, this is a game of redemption or a game of confidence between these two teams, and the River Lions have both.
Meanwhile, missed shot inside. Going to be brought down the floor. Klee stops, finds Tate. Sizing up, going now down low. Passing back outside. Tate, jump shot, no good. He gets his own miss. And they'll get a fresh 24 seconds to drop it away. Wood, he's going to cut inside, going for the layup. He's got 5 consecutive points.
Windsor Express in a broken 3-2 zone, and the River Lions use that to their advantage with using all they can from the Windsor Express. They had their back turned, so they took advantage of that open bucket.
Speaking of back turned, Keith trying to go for the post up, and drawing the charge is Clyde, as that is going to lead to some substitutions on the floor now.
We're going to see Eric Parker come in, JP, and the def game is on the River Lions' favor. Now the Windsor Express, they have a more big boy lineup here. You could expect them to go for a half-court pressure or a 2-3 zone, but they have to be set once the River Lions hit half-court. Now it's a 1-3-1.
1-3-1 shifting around. Johnson, who also came in, he's going to draw the defense towards his way. Jump shot by Dwayne Smith, no good. Rebounded by Kevin Loisel. Kevin Loisel is going to just give it off to Racing as he sizes it up. Klee going to back up on him. Blurring out the defense a little bit to a 2-3 zone, stripped away by Boucard, but he's going to be called for the reach-in. And that is going to be, I believe, the 6th, if not the 7th. In fact, the 7th for the River Lions. That puts them over the limit for the final 2:40 to go here in the first.
And the Windsor Express, they do that well. Get the teams over the limit when things go their way. They're stuck 10 now, but if you think of it, they have used those fouling situations to their advantage because now they got another niche in them, the free throws. And once again, they are leading the league when it comes to their free throws. And once again, anybody that's on the court could do it justice from the charity stripe.
Kevin Loisel makes the first of 2, of course, picked up on the transaction deadline day. And this was Windsor's final move of the season when they brought Kevin Loisel in after being released from the Cape Breton Highlanders. He's going to help set up this defense here. Shifting around. Anthony Otley Jr. now also in the game for the Express as Johnson finds Wood. Wood pulls out for the three, no good, as it's rebounded inside. Passing back to Johnson. Johnson steps inside, mid-range jump shot. He draws the whistle though, as it's going to go against Derek Parker.
Unfortunate for the Express, but the River Lions, once again, one thing they gain as the season goes on is the ball awareness and the shot awareness. They take those wise shots, they get the contact from the side. Now they can pay dividends down to the free throw line as we see Maurice Jones coming back into the game.
Yeah, he's coming in now for Omar Strawn as they shift things around here. Chance for the River Lions to make it a double-digit lead once again. And for those who did not hear it first, Joe Razzo, of course, we discussed things with him, Aaron Sanders and I did, I should say. And one of the main things with this team coming into tonight, keeping a player like Jones out of the offense in terms of handling the point guards and the high ball screens, so when they get Jones in the key, make sure he can't make a play within the key, whether it's down low or back outside for the three.
Yeah, but once again, a lot of people keep on being aware as
Omar's, pardon me, that was drawn by Anthony Otley Jr. He's going to go to the line to shoot two. As there's that pass inside we were just mentioning from the guards.
Yeah, I want to get back to my point though, JP. Those high-low passes will work out, especially with a good finisher like Anthony Otley Jr. But to finish my point right there, a lot of people are unaware that Maurice Jones knows how to work his way through the pressure, and that's one of the reasons why he got Rookie of the Year last year. You see in the beginning of last year, he was pressuring himself down the wings, you know, bringing up the double team and everything, and that forces those turnovers. But now, as we see him develop, yeah, I want to get back to my point though, JP. Those high-low passes will work out, especially with a good finisher like Anthony Otley Jr. But to finish my point right there, a lot of people are unaware that see him not change any emotions. He keeps his eyes on the prize and onto the game. Reasons why he got Rookie of the Year last year. You see in the beginning of last year, he was pressuring himself down the wings, you know, bringing up the double team and everything, and that forces those turnovers. But now, as we see him develop, yeah, I want to get back to my point though, JP. Those high-low passes work out, especially with a good finisher like Anthony Otley Jr. But to finish my point right there, a lot of people are unaware. See him not change any emotions. He keeps his eyes on the prize and onto the game. Why? Got Rookie of the Year last year. You see in the beginning of last year, he redeemed himself from that down wing pass down low up the double to go, and that's how those what now is him develop. Yeah, I want to get back to my point though, JP. Those high-low passes work out, especially with he's a finisher like Anthony Otley Jr. But to finish my point right there, a lot of people see him not change any emotion. That was pretty. He got Connor Woods back, so he left him in the dust here. Fadeaway jump. You see in the beginning of last year, he redeemed himself.
29-22 to score with minutes to go. Dwayne Smith changes that with the triple.
This is what now the Lions, they I want to get back to my point though, JP. Those high-low passes, especially here. Quick three by Anthony Otley Jr.
Making a three-point shootout in the corner. Shot to the side.
That was pretty. He got Connor Woods back, so he left him in the dust here. Fadeaway jump. You see in the beginning of last year, he redeemed himself.
22 to score with minutes to go. Dwayne Smith changes that with the triple inside.
I want to get back to my point though, JP. Especially here. Quick three by Anthony Otley Jr.
Making a three-point shootout in the corner. Shot to the side.
That was pretty. He got Connor Woods back, so he left him in the dust here. Fadeaway jump. You see in the beginning of last year, to see how the
Dwayne Smith changes that with the triple inside.
I want to get back to my point though, JP. Three by Anthony Otley Jr.
Making a three-point shootout in the corner.
That was pretty. He got Connor Woods back, so he left him in the dust here. Fadeaway jump. You see in the beginning of last year, to see how
Rayson pulls up mid-range, gets it to go with 13 seconds to go.
That's those type of shots they need to take care of.
River Lions, meanwhile, trying to pass around. Smith on the outside for three, no good. Battle for the board. It's going to be Jones. Does he have enough time? No, he does not, as he spends the time sidestepping. As after one quarter to play, the River Lions lead 32 to 27 here on Knoxstrom TV. We'll be back in just a moment for the second quarter of NBLC action, live from Windsor. And welcome back, everyone, to the WFCU Center for more NBLC coverage live from Windsor, Ontario. I'm Justin Prince alongside Miss Aaron Sanders after what was an entertaining first quarter. The River Lions lead by 5 so far.
And the River Lions, one of the reasons why they're taking advantage right now is the ability of keeping the ball rotation around. They're keeping their eyes up. That prompted to those good high-low passes, and the backcourt's doing a good job. But it's all about the front court for them as the Windsor Express. They try to capitalize on that early on, but the River Lions, they took a page from their book, and they started attacking inside and drawing the contact.
Meanwhile, the three-point shooting is still alive and well as Rayson drains it. That is the third triple on 5 attempts for the Express tonight as Jones gets the rebound after the miss inside.
Like a bat in the air, he just swoops for the rebound.
And look at this, Rayson can't make the three though. Had a chance to go back-to-back as he'll be sent up now by Joseph. Finding Ronnie Johnson as he'll set up the offense. He's on the floor with Samuel Madreau, Dwayne Smith, as well as Torrance Dyke Jr. and Chris Joseph. Inside is Smith. He can't get her to go as it's blocked. Can be brought down the floor now by Maurice Jones, finding Rayson. Rayson steps back, finds Otley Jr. as he gets the pump, but it's stripped away. Gonna stay Windsor possession.
Yeah, it looked to be Windsor ball because one of the River Lions down deep tapped the ball before it went out of bounds, so the correct call should be Express ball, but if the referees can't come up with a decision, they'll go by the possession arrow, which seems fair. But from our eyes up here, JP, it looked to be Express ball.
Yeah, and that's what I think they ruled, but of course, one thing, the possession arrow is now facing towards the River Lions direction of the floor as well. As for those people who are just tuning in, tonight, of course, is Hats On for Healthcare, raising funds for the Windsor Regional Hospital Foundation. As Jones, he's trying to get triples to help those fans, helping support charity.
How about hats off to him?
Hats off to him, that's for sure. Able to drain the triple. We'll get back to the details for that in just a moment. Meanwhile, Torrance Dyke Jr. able to drain the three as the response. Back and forth.
He calmed down those opening minute jitters right there, and now he's becoming comfortable outside the arc.
Rayson, meanwhile, comes around the double screen. Steps inside. Easily gets the floater layup to go.
Raylan Rayson, once again, a player that a lot of people underestimate when it comes to his abilities. Not only he can shoot outside, but he can pop up for the teardrop.
Johnson, meanwhile, almost getting the whistle on the three-pointer shot as it's rebounded, brought down by Rayson. 2 minutes into the second quarter here at the WFCU Center as Jones gets the screen from Loisel. Finds Loisel for three. Yes, sir!
Once again, it's that ball awareness and the connections that has worked out for the Express. We've seen the chemistry improve month after month, and so far it's paying extreme dividends in the early goings of this second quarter.
When it comes to cash loans, our customers will tell you there's only one choice: Cash Money. It's home of the original 300 for 20. Where you can get a $300 cash loan for just $20. And with Cash Money's express approval, if you need more than $300, you can get it in minutes. And if that's not enough, we've got a kangaroo as our mascot. Okay, 300 for 20 is probably enough. So for cash loans for people who really care, come to Cash Money, home of the original 300 for 20.
Cash money, love my cash money. Hey.
Welcome back, everyone, to the WFCU Center here for more NBLC action. Everyone's all pumped up because with that triple, the Windsor Express are up 37-35. Coach Razzo, of course, just called the timeout. A lot of adjustments you got to think right now defensively for him to call a timeout this early in the quarter.
Now the Windsor Express, they're moving the ball around from beyond the arc, JP, but they cannot be cozy from beyond the arc because we've seen this pattern happening last night where they get too comfortable with the threes and they shot themselves in the foot like we mentioned in the pregame show on Facebook Live. So what the River Lions need to do, if they have to do man-to-man, by all means do it, because a 2-3 zone will not work out because they'll be too late to get the shot going.
Yeah, right now, last night, for those who missed last night's matchup against the London Lightning, it was a season-high 43-point attempts for the Express. Meanwhile, Madro gets it to go in the traffic.
And now Sam Muldrow's, adjusting to it. He knew a lot of people were too late to get him covered, so he took advantage in his own hands and got that shot to go.
And right now, the Express trying to set on up Jones. Alongside Rayson, Parker, Loisel, and Otley Jr. on the floor for your Express. Jones from the parking lot, meanwhile, with 4 on the shot clock, misses as it's rebounded by Pollard. Here comes the fast break. He loses the handle. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
And to the River Lions' credit on the other side, the 2-1-2 defensive strategy worked out for them because the only shot the Windsor Express could pull off was that J from downtown. So to the River Lions' credit, they were ready to box out, they were ready to get the rebound, and thus the transition game worked for them perfectly. Now they're off to the line.
And it's going to be Pollard to the line to shoot 2. Currently one of the top scorers in this game so far. 8 points, 4 for 6 from the field. Now we're tied up at 37 apiece. We'll take the deep breath and make the second attempt. Not going to make it through the bucket, though, as that is going to be 1 for 2 for the strike. We're tied up at 37 apiece. As Jones, guarded by Joe Rocca, gives it to Otley Jr. with Tate on the defense. Pick coming by Loisel. Loisel set the pick and fade, goes back inside. He calls for it in the low post. Back outside, 3 on the shot clock. Otley Jr. for 3 misses.
And Jalen Tate is lucky because he got caught off guard with that pass from Loisel, so it worked out in their favor, luckily.
And meanwhile, look at that absolutely beautiful pass from Joseph to set up Pollard for the baseline jump shot. Like a volleyball volley to try and move it forward to set up that play. And a good bucket there. 39-37 is the score. Rayson finding Parker. Just inside the 3-point line, draws the wait whistle. And I believe it's going to lead to 2 free throws now for Parker.
I was going to say that was a doozy of the shot right there because Eric Parker had no chance to get enough power to get that shot going on, but to his credit, he got a hand up. Somebody from the River Lions got their hand caught in the cookie jar, and now Eric Parker gets bailed out with a pair of free throws, which, once again, the Windsor Express need to take advantage of, and they do when it comes to their play in the league so far.
And right now, the Express set on up for the free throws. For those who did not hear before, the Windsor Express are the top free throw shooting team in the NBLC this season, 79.8%. They are getting stronger and stronger to get to 80%, which is unheard of, really, in terms of an overall team average at times. But Parker ties us up at 39. River Lions going to bring it back down the floor. On the floor for the River Lions. Tate, along with Boucard, along with Chris Joseph. He's going to drain the triple, and it's now 42-39.
Isn't Chris Joseph making a name of himself in his early time with the River Lions? Omar Strong, however.
Yeah, he definitely is. Meanwhile, the shot missed by Omar Strong. Boucard got the rebound and drawn the whistle, trying to go up the floor. That's Windsor's second foul. Rayson's going to come out with Maurice Jones coming in. But getting back now to Chris Joseph, as we mentioned before, he had 37 minutes in his first NBLC game. He had 14 points along with 5 assists and 3 rebounds, of course, for the former second-round NBA pick. Somebody that's making a good impact early here in the NBLC. Going for the triple, meanwhile, no good. Off the front rim, rebounded by Kevin Loisel as Maurice Jones will slow down the pace. Has the size mismatch now as Boucard guarding him, finding Strong. Back to Loisel. Loisel trying to drive by, misses, gets the second chance with the first 24. Backs up. Over Pollard, no good. Pollard gets the rebound, but he's going to have to try and pass it out. Draws the whistle instead.
There goes that double team by the Express again because they could not convert on a bucket inside. Usually we see the Windsor Express converting those baskets easily, but once again, it's the forceful and gruesome front court of the River Lions that's been taking care of business here at the WFCU Center tonight.
And right now, the WFCU Center calling for defense in this one-possession game as Boucard passes out, stripped away. Kept alive by Tate, finding down low Joe Rocca as he gets it a go.
Once again, the broken play is not working in the Express's favor.
Meanwhile, Maurice Jones responds quickly with a right-handed hook. 7 minutes to go here in the first half. Tate using as much time as he can. Pollard setting the pick. Tate outside, back to Boucard as he found Joseph, but it was deflected. Joseph has to step inside off of Pollard's hands for the turnover.
That would have been a nifty pass because it would have allowed Pollard just to be gruesome inside to the hole. But unfortunately, he had butterfingers as the ball hits his fingertips and right out of bounds.
Unable to handle the pass. He's been having a good, strong night in terms of offense that time with the turnover. Meanwhile, Strawn setting up on offense. Parker and Loisel in the post as there's a bit of a tie-up in the high post between Loisel and Rocca. And we'll see who the whistle's on here. Is this going to be inbounded down the baseline?
Niagara fouls number 2.
They are going to call this on Joe Rocca, his first. Just the team's second of the quarter as the Express keep the possession alive. Strong pump fakes. Trying to spin around. Trying to find separation from Rocca. Loisel gets it. Driving through 3 defenders. Can't get the slam dunk. And taking words right out of your mouth. The donut can't find the coffee as that is stolen away by Maurice Jones.
But on the other hand,
for the fast break. Loisel pump fakes and easily gets the layup on the fast break.
Now you see, he took Joe Rocca off his feet, or else that would have been either a foul or a block. So Loisel took a lot of extra time because all the River Lions were right behind, and he was all by himself to the 10.
Needing defense here, no defense there on Boucard. They challenged him for the 3. He doesn't make it as it's rebounded by Parker. Express on the charge, running down the railroad tracks as Maurice Jones gives the Express the lead back.
So far, the train station is becoming more dominant than the Lions did within the last minute and a half here. The Express up 1.
Tate's going to now try and set things up. Pollard inside. Alley-oop attempt, no good. He still puts it up for the bucket.
That's a nice setup for Pollard, but to my eyes, it could have looked like a foul from Loisel.
Meanwhile, Strawn, nice size up, misses the jump shot as Windsor couldn't get the lead right on back. Meanwhile, Joseph sizing on up, loses the handle for a split second. Finds Joe Rocca. Joe Rocca for 3, no good. Rebounded by Shaquille Keith.
And keep in mind, he was the trailer on that defensive end, so good for him to get that open rebound.
Yeah, no one around there for the box out that time. Loisel gets the pass on outside. Strawn trying to cut inside to get separation from Rocca as Loisel, he's going to get his own miss. Shaquille Keith gets the pass on the outside. Loisel in the low post now. Keith trying to go for the trail. He had the box up prepared, but Loisel's there for the layup in the post.
Now we're seeing a bit of a flip-flop to see who's taking over the game for the Express. If it's not Loisel, it's Maurice Jones, and we could see good chemistry.
And speaking of good chemistry, they try to go for the alley-oop again. This time, Pollard's going to go to the line to shoot 2. And that time, you can see, the first time, they had about 3 seconds to say, I think we can go for the alley-oop. That time, they went immediately right for it.
And that's going to prompt us to a timeout, I believe, JP.
Yeah, it's going to be that media timeout here. Pollard wants to take his free throw attempts first. Adam Clyde's into the game for the substitutions meanwhile. Windsor Express having to bring their players back onto the floor as Logan Stutz gets ready to come right on in now along with DeMontre Harris. And that's exactly what they're going to do, bring out Parker. Harris is going to come right on in with Logan Stutz. As it's going to be Pollard to the line to shoot 2. He is 0 for 2 so far tonight. 10 points along with 3 rebounds on the stat sheet. He makes his first attempt from the stripe tonight.
Once again, we see the lineup on the court, JP. It's a matter of size versus size. We only see 2 small guys coming in from both clubs right now. But you realize how important the fortitude of the offensive end is between these 2 teams right now. The River Lions want to gain the vantage back.
Making both free throws. Substitution coming onto the floor. Meanwhile, once again, this time it's going to be Matt Marshall. Matt Marshall, of course, from Burlington, Ontario, and a former player for the Brock Badgers, who is one of the more noteworthy signings, of course, for the River Lions for the past couple years, having a development deal with the team in Europe. Meanwhile, Omar Strawn drives in, gets the bucket.
And that's one of the reasons why Bill Jones picked up Omar Strong. He could switch his shot at any time without any hesitation, and he has those good quality shots.
Tate, meanwhile, good quality three-pointer, as we have a full-on track meet in terms of jump shots right now in offense. As Keith's going to set it on up. 51-49 your score. Less than 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Pollard easily draws the whistle on Matt Marshall. And tried to get it in the high post, just easily drawing this whistle. It's going to be on Matt Marshall, his first, team's third, as that is going to set up Harris. He's got 6 points so far from the stripe, 4 for 4, make that 5 for 5 for Harris.
And you know what? That's what the Express need. If this game ever comes down to the wire, it could come down on the fact that those perennial trips to the free throw line could pay off for the Express. It could have paid off for them last night, but once again, they have to get back into their game before they consider going to the free throw line.
Meanwhile, they're trying to focus on this game, of course, in the back-to-back. After going 7-3 in the month of February, losing to the London Lightning last night in a close game. Meanwhile, Joseph finds Tate. Down to 6 on the shot clock. Boucard down low, back to Joseph. Spin post move misses. Rebounded by Shaquille Keith. And Windsor trying to get the lead right on back, and it's been a seesaw affair. Windsor shooting exactly 50% from the field tonight. Harris in the low post, mismatch with Marshall. Adam Clyde came around for the double team, and he's going to be drawn for the whistle, I believe. Either that, it's going to be on Matt Marshall. Regardless, 2 free throws again coming for Harris.
Either way, Matt Marshall's having a difficult time during his time on the court. They'll give that to Adam Clyde first off, but now you can see Niagara, they're panicking a little bit because the Windsor Express are trying to get their goat, if you will. But with a guy with DeMontre Harris, they would underestimate him as a guy that can't drain his free throws, but he has been perfect thus far.
Perfect thus far, that's for sure. As well on the season, shooting about 78% from the stripe. Of course, averaging as well 11 points per game on the year with about 5 to 6 rebounds per game as well for his totals. He able to make the first again. He is still perfect from the stripe. Windsor now up to 15 of 16 for the game from the stripe. Gives Windsor a 3-point lead as Joseph trying to get some separation out on Keith fighting Tate. Marshall sets up enough separation for Tate to go for the 3, misses. As they battle for the rebound, Strong comes up with it. He's going to push forward a bit here. They'll slow it back on down. Harris now going to the key in the post. Strong still trying to size up. Finds Maurice Jones. Cross court to the former MVP in stats. He cuts in. Gets it to go.
That's a wise play from Maurice Jones to be aware of the other side.
Meanwhile, Strong rushing down for the defense. And he's going to be called for the whistle. And I believe that's going to bring Jalen Tate to the stripe. In fact, it will. As that's going to be Windsor's 15th foul of the quarter. Omar Strong second, and that's going to give a chance for Dwayne Smith to come in. He's now going to come in for Matt Marshall. Also coming in the prior stoppage, of course, is Torrance Dyke Jr. onto the floor along with Connor Wood. As to prepare for the free throws here, though, one thing to know, of course, we spoke with Coach Joe Rasso prior to pregame, and one of the main things he mentioned about the transaction deadline, which kind of makes sense when you think about it, too, on the end. The team wanted to go for more overall size at the guard spot and more emphasis on mobility up front, which, of course, we're seeing the results of that with guys they brought in like Dyke Jr., like Chris Joseph, sending Carl Hall to the Island Storm, sending the rights to Marvell Waite to Moncton, as well as Anthony Stover's rights to St. John's Edge. It just kind of shows a little bit what they were trying to think of doing at the transaction deadline.
Yeah, because once again, they may have good shooters in their backcourt, but once again, that's where they lacked was the size, because when they go up against top guards, like, say, for example, Kyle Johnson of London and Maurice Jones over here, that's going to create some fits because you may have the shot going, but if you don't have the skills to go from outside of the arc to inside with great ease, that's where you're going to suffer the most, and that's probably one of the key reasons why they lost 5 games in a row as they did.
Yeah, of course, this is their second game since the transaction deadline, looking to get the W here as Tate makes the first free throw. Once again, we like to remind you, it is Hats On for Healthcare night. raising funds for the Windsor Regional Hospital Foundation. Last year raising $50,000 in funds. Of course, today raising funds for caring for ill and premature newborn infants. Meanwhile, a great play inside on the second chance from Joseph.
Once again, these new players are really rising up to the occasion here, JP. They're not letting this game slip away. They are aware of what this game means to the River Lions team if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Yeah, Coach Razzo really mentioned that too, about the huge impact of this game here, Aaron, today for coming up with a W, that's for sure. As meanwhile, Strawn sizing up, gets enough separation, draws the whistle, and he'll go to the line to shoot 3.
My goodness, he made Matt Marshall eat his dust on the crossover, and then the poor choice of stepping up and try to contest that shot. Now Omar Strong, he got him where he needed those shots. Down at the line, he's going to try to convert for 3 shots all by himself.
To correct you there, the foul was on Connor Wood. Of course, Matt Marshall was substituted out a few minutes ago, as now Omar Strong makes the first of 2. Windsor still keeping up their strong presence at the free throw line. Making first 2 now, 17 of 18 from the stripe now for the Express.
And that's where they will hurt most of the teams. And once again, going back on it, Connor Wood being left in his dust. Omar Strong, the guy may have a mismatch ahead of him, but he knows his way to use those skills and use that footwork to his advantage. And boy, he knocked down Connor Wood a peg.
Braylon Rayson now coming in now for Omar Strong after making all 3 free throws. Inside though, Smith finding Dyke Jr., misses, second chance. He draws the whistle, he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
So we could see here, and this is strange here, JP, we're seeing the backcourt really taking advantage of the interior defense, but at the same time, you see the front court really gathering together and make sure that they get a good defensive stop. So the backcourt shouldn't be in front. It should be the other guys.
It looks like the referees decided to keep the play going. Meanwhile, Joseph lost the footing this time. He's going to shoot 2, and Joseph holding on to his right hip for a split second from that slip.
And Shaq Keith is not happy on that. He's flailing his arms up and down, pleading a case here. So now they're going to discuss it.
Referee still saying 2 free throws is what they want here. Loisel getting ready to come in. And a smart move from Coach Bill Jones, knowing that Shaquille Keith a little frustrated here, bringing in another player to let him cool off in a split second. It is on Keith. His third foul too, so he's in foul trouble for the rest of the way for the first half here.
But in his case, in his place too, Kevin Loisel comes in. So once again, it has to bring up a lot of confidence for the Windsor Express, but once again, they need to buckle down defensively. If they have to go man-to-man, so be it. But if they stay clustered up top, that's going to prompt a lot of easy chances for Niagara, as a free throw is missed down there. But you really got to look at your options. You got to look at size, because now the Windsor Express is trying to play the River Lions game. They drew first blood in depth, so that's why they have been off their game for a little bit. So they really need to pick up the pace, stay steady within the tempo, and they got to play within themselves.
I couldn't agree with you more, that's for sure right now. Meanwhile, baseline drive, and that's going to be stepping on the baseline for Logan Stutz on what could have been a 3-point play.
Was again a crying shame, one of those little errors that the Windsor Express are still piling on. That just opens up more opportunities for the River Lions to get them where it hurts.
Torrance Dyke Jr. puts up a mid-range jump shot, putting it where it hurts there that time to bring it to a 2-point game. Less than 90 seconds to go here in the first half. As Rayson into the high post, now Stutz fakes to the right, looks to the left, back to Loisel. Loisel misses the bank shot 3, tapped out. Able to be picked up by Tate as he pushes forward, finding Smith, and he's Smith with the slam.
Yeah, there was no way the Express could capitalize on that, and Dwayne Smith, to his credit, aware of the defense all behind him, and he just rammed it down with 2 hands.
Meanwhile, almost stolen away is stolen away, but it's not going to be able to be kept in bounds from Jalen Tate, as it's going to stay with Express ball. 50 seconds to go here in the first half here at the WFCU Center.
So if you look at the shot clock, game clock ratio here, JP, the Windsor Express could possibly have at least 2 more possessions before the half, but it's a matter of them controlling the ball and making sure it doesn't go out of bounds, because we've seen a couple of plays where they went out of bounds on easy plays, so they got to make sure they keep the ball in bounds. Now 11 seconds on the shot clock.
Going to be inbounded down the baseline. Loisel, that is
My
way
goodness.
off the mark as Connor Wood easily gives the River Lions back the lead.
That is not a play you really need to go for. There is no reason to go for a high pass. You could have just gave it to somebody close and then pop it right out. Maurice Jones wasn't ready for that at all.
Maurice Jones, is he ready for the three? This time misses. But it goes off the River Lions rebounders. So the rebounders weren't ready that time for the River Lions.
And to that, it's all kismet for the Windsor Express because once again, they could probably draw up a play and a half to milk this clock. Now it's under 30 seconds, so they really need to take advantage of this shot clock if they want to get something going before they go in the clubhouse.
A little bit of a breakdown on the play, and it looked like it was supposed to go to Rayson. Stutz got it, passed out to Loisel. About 6-second difference between shot clock and game clock. That's Rayson. Guarded now by Wood. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Cutting inside, down the baseline, finding Harris wide open for the slam.
And that's one of those plays I was talking about. They needed to milk the clock as much as they can, and they did.
And meanwhile, got to go for the quick shot to the River Lions. Dyke Jr. misses. Rayson got the rebound, not enough time for the shot. And with that, a very strong offensive game in the first half as the Windsor Express and the Niagara River Lions are tied up at 60 points apiece here on Knockstrom TV. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the Knockstrom halftime and more here from the WFCU Center and the Rose City.
When it comes to cash loans, our customers will tell you there's only one choice: Cash Money. It's home of the original 300 for 20, where you can get a $300 cash loan for just $20. And with Cash Money's express approval, if you need more than $300, you can get it in minutes. And if that's not enough, we've got a kangaroo as our mascot. Okay, 300 for 20 is probably enough. So for cash loans for people who really care, come to Cash Money, home of the original 300 for 20.
Cash money, love my cash money.
So the scoreboard before halftime, JP, has said 60-60. Now the scoreboard says they pinned one more to the River Lions, so 61-60. I'm just going to say it's still a tie, and considering how both of these clubs have been playing so far, we'll consider it a tie.
Yeah, it has been a very competitive game here, that's for sure, especially if you're a fan of offense. If you're a fan of seeing defense, you're probably screaming into a pillow and say, what are we watching here? Because look at some of the scoring, that's for sure, in terms of the stats. Both teams shooting in the high 40s into the lower 50s right now. Both teams with a long, strong three-pointers. And for Windsor, they've had an absolute parade to the free throw line. They're 18 for 19 from the stripe. We've been seeing how they've been doing it really with taking smart shots on the outside and then a lot of plays into the low post and driving inside or drawing the contact while trying to go for the post moves. So Windsor's just been able to just keep the way in the free throw line. For the River Lions, they've been able to keep their way into the game based on 10 offensive rebounds too.
And keep in mind, another positive for the River Lions is a negative factor for the Express. The ability of taking those points off of turnovers is where the River Lions have a +8 into that. So to the River Lions' credit, I said this before and I'll say it again, they're well aware and they're keeping their eye on the ball. But for the Windsor Express, that's a different story because there are too many errant passes for them to just throw away.
Yeah, that's for sure. Some of those passes were completely silly because turnover count may be low right now. But those turnovers in a game where ball handling has been an absolute key in terms of just 5 turnovers for Windsor and 4 for the River Lions, they can't afford to have a lot more of those unless they force turnovers themselves, if that makes sense, because this has just been a key game where you have to make sure you get the best assists and the best setting up passes right now. And make sure you don't toss those kind of plays away. Look at the scoreboard. You can't afford to lose yourself maybe 2, 4, 6 points off turnovers right now because that is how River Lions 2 have 12 points off those turnovers. They've been taking advantage of Windsor's mistakes when they've lost the handle of the ball. They can't afford to keep it on going if you're Windsor in the second half.
We're seeing a fight down there for the fans' halftime entertainment, and it's been a fight too, so I guess they got influenced by that. But you know what? It's been a showdown. I highlighted down to a couple of players. I mean, we're seeing Torrance Dyke rising up to the occasion, but at the same time, Jalen Tate, and then, of course, the big show, the big guy, Chris Joseph. He's taking care of business. But on the other hand, the Windsor Express, they flipped it over a little bit. Maurice Jones is still taking control of the Express, but we're seeing the bigs now becoming more adjusted and more comfortable within the system. If it does come down to the wire, it might have to come down to 2 players.
Yeah, it might come down to 2 players. If you're referring to Windsor, to make sure I'm doing that, of course, DeMontre Harris and Braylon Rayson have really taken control, especially during that second quarter, where Rayson now has 10 points. And Harris, he's got 8 free throws for 12 points as well, along with a couple nice slam dunks. So get those players involved. We've been starting to see a little bit more of Kevin Loisel and Eric Parker into the post moves as well. But for the most part, it's been obvious. Give it to the guy that's drawing all the contact and getting the nice plays when he has been getting field goal attempts from the field. DeMontre Harris, he might be one of the players you got to keep feeding it to throughout the rest of this game, especially in the early going into the second half.
Absolutely, and keep in mind, DeMontre Harris is perfect, not only from the free throw line, but perfect in the field, so he's en route to a perfect game. But we don't want to jinx him, and we don't want to say anything that is above spreading misinformation. Yep. So when it comes to just one key for both of these clubs when they come out of the clubhouse for the second half, what will it come down to?
I think what it will come down to for the River Lions, they got to guard the shots. That is quote for quote what the pregame strategy is. They have not done that, official at sea. Well, there's a reason why Windsor has 60 points. They haven't guarded the shot, if that makes sense. So they got to find a way to make some defensive adjustments, have some proper zone coverage right now to make sure they have the perimeter taken away. But then as well, because of the shots going outside in tonight, they got to get things set up inside. They got to prepare to have 2 defenders in the paint at all times. Windsor, we've seen it from Windsor where they've had 3, 4 defenders inside the paint, making it very tough for those shots to go in for the River Lions, which is, of course, led. Still, they got the +6 in points in paint, but it's a bit more difficult to have shots if you're Windsor, if that has been taken away tonight, especially the passes to go back to your second option in the mid-range or the outside. So that is my key point for Windsor. For the key point, for the River Lions, for the key point for Windsor, to clarify with that, I think right now it's about continuing to do what the strengths are right now, but it's in part to limit the offensive rebounds. Start boxing out, because 10 offensive rebounds is not a good situation with 12 second chance points and 12 points off turnovers on top of that. So you gotta set up the box outs, get those defensive rebounds, even if you do have the positive in that, and prevent the offensive rebounds. So, or else it's gonna stay a close game, if not a River Lion in little run spurt to set up. Because I'll be honest, I thought it was going to be a double-digit game by the end of the third quarter here. if it's not fixed, those things fixed for either side, it's going to stay a close game, I think.
So we have a lot of situations at hand here between these two teams. The River Lions, they want to snap their 5-game losing streak. The Windsor Express, they want to send their fans home happy before they are off for at least a week and a half here at the WFCU Center. And I will use my judgment to see what the scoreboard says, and if it is true, it is 61-60 in favor of the River Lions. So that's a story for you for the Knoxham halftime. We're going to pause for a few moments, but when we come back, we'll have the call for the second half. 61-60 is the score. We'll return here from the WFCU Center in just a moment.
When it comes to cash loans, our customers will tell you there's only one choice: Cash Money. It's home of the original 300 for 20, where you can get a $300 cash loan for just $20. And with Cash Money's express approval, if you need more than $300, you can get it in minutes. And if that's not enough, we've got a kangaroo as our mascot. Okay, 300 for 20 is probably enough. So for cash loans for people who really care, come to Cash Money, home of the original 300 for 20.
Cash money, love my cash money. Hey.
And welcome back, everyone, to the WFCU Center for more NBLC action between the Windsor Express and Niagara River Lions. River Lions lead 61-60 here coming into the second half. But first, there is a major storyline we have coming out of St. John's. Remember the all-time points in a game record set by Devin Sweetney with 57. Well, today, that has been rewritten. Today, Carl English scored 58 points against the KW Titans in a 127-117 game, coming away with 17 of 33 from the field, 11 triples, which is unbelievable in and of itself, along with 7 rebounds. That is the storyline of the night, coming in right now into the second half here, Aaron.
Well, it's the storyline tonight, and you would expect something to be written. It would be all fiction, but no, folks, this is facts. Hats off to Carl English for putting on a tremendous exhibition here tonight. Like you said, JP, 11 triples, that is hard, and I think it amounts to how many points the St. John's Edge scored in the third quarter. They dropped 43 points, and I can assure you that a majority of them came from Carl English. We'll quickly look at the stats, but yeah, the third quarter, Carl English's favor, 21 points, no question about it. So those 21 points really went up to the occasion. That's why he got 58 points. So congratulations to Carl English for rewriting NBL Canada history as the Edge pull out another victory over the KW Titans.
Very important to note that, especially with a phenomenal output from English to get the record tonight. But of course, we have a game here in Windsor going on right now still. You heard my opinions right now, of course, for what needs to be done. What are your thoughts on what needs to be done for both of these sides for the start of the second half?
Both of these clubs need to start playing more aggressive defense because time and again, the Windsor Express, they're just going to pop up and go back to the free throw line and stay, you know, pretty much flawless when it comes to the second half. But if the River Lions could just ease off just a little bit on the handwork and try to stop them from going inside, then that's where they'll win for the River Lions. But for the Express, don't let them think that the River Lions are back into this game. You got to take different quality shots. You can't rely from the three-point arc because if you live by the three, you die by the three, and they died by the three last night. Now they have to go for the variety of shots, whether from top, mid-range, or down low. But when it comes to down low, keep on feeding it to DeMontre Harris. Keep on doing what you're doing with him because he will convert those nice plays into good buckets because he is still perfect from the field and from the free throw line.
Yes, that's for sure right now. 2 for 2 from the field, 8 for 8 from the free throw line. So gotta keep that going, that's for sure. Of course, Windsor tonight came in 35% from deep, just as a sidebar, of course. And of course, the season high attempts with 40 was 10 field goal attempts higher than their overall season average. But right now, they're focused on keeping their subs together and getting a strong start to the second half. Same for the River Lions. On the floor for the Express to start off your second half action. It'll be Maurice Jones along with Logan Stutz, Omar Strong, DeMontre Harris, and Shaquille Keith. Coach Razzo and his squad still discussing things. For those tuning in, of course, this is the debut after the activation for one of the newcomers acquired from the Island Storm at the transaction deadline, Torres Dyke Jr. With that, of course, the deactivation for the time being for C.J. Aiken. He's had a decent game here in Windsor so far. He will be not on the floor to start off this third quarter. It'll be Jalen Tate, Samuel Modreau, along with Chris Joseph, Devontae Pollard, as well as Guillaume Payen-Boucard. Those are the players on the floor to start off your third quarter. The crowd definitely pumped up for a close game here in the Road City. Are you enjoying your Saturday night? Well, it's about to get more intense as the second half is we're underway. Tate's going to start off the offense. Omar Strong on the defense, finding Boucard. On the outside, Whistle. And we're going to have a discussion at the scorer's table here. But of course, we got one more game we should, of course, note going on still. A barn burner between the Island Storm and the Cape Breton Highlanders. 3-point game right now for the Island Storm, 102-99.
And the Island Storm, keep in mind, they've been undefeated since their captain, Andre Stringer, went down. So, you know what? You talk about a dose of inspiration. The Island Storm are riding off that right now, and the Cape Breton Highlanders, they're trying to vie for that final playoff spot because it's quite interesting enough. The Island Storm, they have the last playoff spot right now, and as we mentioned over and over again, JP, the Atlantic Division playoff hopes and dreams are running at an all-time high for pretty much everybody because anybody could just jump from 4th to 2nd in just a short amount of time.
Yeah, that was kind of what I mentioned somewhat during the Facebook pregame as well, where looking at the standings right now, it's Halifax at the top of the standings. That is 8 games ahead, 8 victories, I should say, ahead of the Island Storm. But then, look at the standings right now. You got Moncton, St. John, the Island Storm. None of them have clinched a spot. Plus, you have Cape Breton with 11 victories and 11-18 on the season that are trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. Of course, for the playoff picture for the Central Division, London, St. John's, and Windsor have all clinched. Niagara River Lions trying to get themselves in that similar position. KW Titans now going to be even further on back in the standings. 7.5 games back right now at the moment. Missed shot for the River Lions, meanwhile.
Going back to the Atlantic Division before we get back to this one, JP, the Island Storm has won 3 in a row, and the Cape Breton Highlanders lost 3 in a row. So somebody's streak will go down tonight at the end of this one.
Yes, somebody's streak will go down, and we're going to see if the River Lions can get a shot to go down to start off. They exactly will. Just cuts it inside easily for the bucket. They're up by 3. Maurice Jones, meanwhile, trying to get separation on Boucard. Going inside, feeding Harris. Trying to get penetration in the low post. Misses his first shot from the field. But he has a chance on the second chance to go to the stripe to go for 2.
Once again, the Windsor Express must have heard something from us up here, JP. Keep on feeding DeMontre Harris because eventually he will put up those big numbers. And as we've seen him ever since he started at the 5 position, JP, he put up insurmountable, massive numbers, and that all comes from the second half.
Yeah, that is for sure. As he makes the first of 2, keeping things perfect from the stripe for him. Just absolutely unbelievable. He is now, with this attempt, going to make it double-digit points from the charity line. And it makes it a 1-point game as well here. Bring a bit of half-court pressure. Omar Strawn having to back on off, switches around. Boucard going to help set up isolation. Madro calling for it. Finding Joseph. Joseph half spin, goes for the fadeaway shot, no good. Rebounded inside by Harris. He's going to come around meanwhile as Omar Strawn brings it up the floor. Finds Keith. Sizing up Madro. Spins by Madro, trying to pass it to Stunt, stolen away by Pollard.
3-on-2 for the River Lions.
And here comes Boucard, cuts inside for the easy fast break points.
And once again, the River Lions taking advantage of points off of turnovers.
Hold on 1 second, high tempo from the Express. Shaquille Keith can't make the 3, and the River Lions are going to keep the pedal down. Boucard tried to pass it to the perimeter, but draws the whistle. And that's going to be the first foul here of the quarter for the Express. River Lions already have a foul themselves, obviously. It's going to be on Maurice Jones. Just his first. And of course, Windsor at one point had the least amount of personal fouls a game. They have skyrocketed themselves up to 3rd in the league now, averaging 23 personal fouls a game. Meanwhile, Joseph, he's trying to draw a whistle, misses. Second chance, no good. Rebounded by Harris, still fighting for the board. Falls into the front row as it's going to be kept alive by the Express after the save. And Jones is going to now slow down the tempo here, quickly getting into Strawn. Down low to Stutz. Stutz. Post spin misses. Harris, though, with the putback with the FIBA rebound.
And nobody there to cover Harris, and that's why he just went from behind and just threw it down. Throw it down, big man.
Throwing it down once again and throwing a very bad pass there. The River Lions that time. Omar Strawn gives it to Stutz. He's got the and one. Are they going to say it's on the floor? I believe it is the N1. Yes, it is ruled the N1. Devontae Pollard called for his second. Omar Strawn, Logan Stutz getting the whistle and the quick N1.
Once again, Logan Stutz was a little bit out of his comfort zone in transition, but he saw the contact and he took advantage of it.
Took advantage, that's for sure. Set up by Omar Strawn. After the steal, Pollard misses off the front rim. Second chance, gets the putback. This time it's an N1.
From one and one to another here at JP, Devontae Pollard just staying to the roots of his game. He knew Logan Stutz couldn't do anything, so once again, he took a page out of Stutz's book, drew the contact. There was no coverage on him, none whatsoever. So he's back to the line to go for the three-point play.
And he's going to easily drain that. Back and forth affair on the score sheet here in the start of the third quarter. Going in through traffic, Omar Strawn having to go for an acrobatic layup attempt, misses, but the second chance, my goodness, it's going to be 3 straight and ones from both sides combined.
You know, I'm still flustered that once again the River Lions has formed a cluster in the defense. It did not stop Omar Strawn. With his speed, he was able to get that rebound once again, and there was nothing the River Lions could do. I'm looking back at the replay over here. See, he gets the breakthrough. He gets the step on Mojo. Misses the shot, but it was all because of the back tap of DeMontre Harris. He was able to get the N1.
He missed the free throw, meanwhile, though, but the River Lions went for the faster tempo. Madro misses off the 3. Rebounded by Keith. Windsor's going to go slow tempo to start off this play. Keith cuts inside, trying to drive by Boucard. Almost had a near travel, but Harris draws the contact on the whistle after the pass from Keith. And that's going to send him to the line to shoot two yet again. It's going to be on Chris Joseph, his third. Already 4 fouls for the River Lions here in the first 3 and just about half minutes of the third quarter.
And once again, JP, DeMontre bailing out the Windsor Express when it comes to these situations, and why not? You're relying on a very responsible player like him as he knocks down 2 free throws.
He's got 16 points, 4 rebounds, 12 of those points coming from the charity stripe tonight. As Boucard goes in the low post, spins by Jones, lost the handle, and they're going to say it went out of bounds off the Express. Boucard almost brought it back on in. But instead, it's going to be inbounded down baseline.
You can see the Express really putting up the pressure down low. They know that with the River Lions' inability to cut through and penetrate the defense, they don't have a lot in their arsenal to rely on, so they're doing a good job with the coverage.
Good defense right now in this play. Pollard, low post, kicks it out, and no one noticed the shot clock hit 0. That's going to be a shot clock violation. They need an extra 2 seconds, I think, to get the shot off, that's for sure, but that's going to be a turnover. Windsor Express lead by 3. Shot clock violation leads to the 5th turnover of the game for the River Lions. Meanwhile, the former River Lion, Omar Strawn, finding Keith. Keith trying to find space. Down low, inside of Harris, lost the dribble, and he's going to lose the handle. Enough for the turnover.
Once again, that's a rare mistake from the Express considering the adrenaline rush they're in right now, but now they have to wipe that away and take advantage of the defensive pressure here.
Very high screen from Madro as this is going to find its way to Pollard. Low post trying to get it to bounce into the cylinder, no good. Harris got his 5th rebound of the game. Windsor going high tempo. Jones stops on the outside. Omar Strawn trying to find an opening from Tate. Penetrating the defense is Jones. Passes out Harris. High post mid-range, no good. And Pollard's going to bring it up himself. Trying to pass it to Tate. Wide open corner. He's going to pass it inside for the easy light slam from Boucard.
Once again, the Express thought it was going to be a turnover right there, so they froze in transition, and that gave the River Lions 2 more points.
Stotts trying to give Windsor 3 points. He does so.
Once again, a game of redemption for either of the squad, and the Windsor Express so far on the road to redemption.
Road to redemption after the loss last night and a close one to London. Pollard, meanwhile, he's going to get called with the charge drawn by Stotts.
Joe Razzo trying to plead his case on the sideline, but he will not get any grief from that. Kevin Loisel is going to check back in, and we could see the River Lions, they're flustering down low right there, JP, and the Windsor Express are capitalizing on that.
Yeah, right now they definitely have been, that's for sure. And they got to get things together right now. Windsor starting to go on a run here in the past couple minutes. Kevin Loisel, of course, coming in for Harris for the small ball lineup. Strong gets separation from Wood. Puts up the mid-range, no good. Rebounded by Madro. And Tate's going to lead them up the floor. Quick pass to Clyde. Clyde outside to Wood. Over Jones. Doesn't even draw iron, but Boucard is there for the putback.
Heartbreak City for Niagara for not getting that shot off, but it's also Heartbreak City for the Express because they did not put a guy on Payon Boucard.
That's going to be offensive rebound 11 for Niagara tonight. As Keith cuts inside, tries to draw contact on Madro. They're going to say play on as he gets his own miss. This time, Keith draws the whistle, and I believe it's going to go to the line to shoot 2 for Shaquille Keith. That was a little bit of a confusing sequence for a split second.
So Sam Muldrow will be on the foul.
Yeah, for a second, I think Keith thought he was going to get called for the travel. Instead, able to get a second shot off, gets the whistle, misses the first free throw, though, for just what turns out to be the second missed free throw from the stripe tonight for Windsor.
Let me address the young viewers who are watching this game probably for the first time, JP. As long as you don't hear the whistle, you keep on playing. Both the Windsor Express and the River Lions are victims of staying frozen on defense, so you got to capitalize on that situation. If their back is turned, you take care of the rim.
I was going to say exactly that. That time, another charge drawn. This time, Loisel is the one able to draw it.
Goodness me.
Goodness me indeed. Silly situations, silly turnovers, silly offensive fouls where you have to pay attention of the defense around you. It's still a 3-point game. And right now, Keith finding Stutz, corner, drives inside, going for the slam. Donut misses the coffee, as this is going to be a whistle up the floor.
This has been a quagmire of events within the last little while here, JP. Either offensive fouls or errant mistakes as we lead into the media timeout. Both of these clubs are saying, thank goodness.
Thank goodness, and they got a lot to discuss after the last couple minutes of executions. We'll be right back here in just a moment. Here for more coverage of NBL basketball on Hats On for Healthcare Day.
When it comes to cash loans, our customers will tell you there's only one choice: Cash Money. It's home of the original 300 for 20, where you can get a $300 cash loan for just $20. And with Cash Money's express approval, if you need more than $300, you can get it in minutes. And if that's not enough, we've got a kangaroo as our mascot. Okay, 300 for 20 is probably enough. So for cash loans for people who really care, come to Cash Money, home of the original 300 for 20.
Cash money, love my cash money.
And welcome back, everyone, to Windsor, Ontario for more coverage of NBLC basketball, as it is a 3-point lead now for the Express. Let's talk about what just happened in the past couple minutes, because you had players freeze up twice thinking there were turnovers and or traveling potential calls, and then it was just a confusing situation of plays in a row.
Well, you know what? It's a quagmire of events, and once again, as long as you don't hear the whistle, you play on. So that's going to lead a lot of confusion for both of these teams. Hopefully the end of the game doesn't come to that.
Meanwhile, Dwayne Smith pulls out for the mid-range, no good, and Jones gets the board. Less than 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter. 75-72 is the score. Windsor in the bonus for the rest of the way for this third quarter. As Keith on the perimeter, finding Stutz. Stutz drives inside, good post move, getting it to go.
He got that shot in Dwayne Smith's face.
Yeah, good spin to penetrate through the defense, getting it to go. Tate, meanwhile, draws the whistle, and he'll go to the line to shoot two.
And you know, I'm impressed at some of these new players here tonight, JP, for the River Lions. Usually we'd see Guillaume Payon-Boucard take advantage right into his own hands and, you know, devour the game. But you know what? It has been the Chris Joseph show. Sam Mojo came in just for a little bit and taking care of business. Jalen Tate becoming the master of the ball, if you will. But you know what? All in all, it's going to take them just a little bit longer for everybody to get their fair share of the game, because it hasn't been balanced scoring for both of these clubs, but nonetheless, it has been a really good game.
It has been a good game, entertaining game, that's for sure. Tate, meanwhile, brings it back to a 3-point game. Substitution came on the floor. Brilliant racing coming in for Maurice Jones out of screen. As Keith backs out of the high post, sizing up Boucard outside to Loisel. He's going to cut back inside the key, draws the whistle, and this is going to send him to the line to shoot two, with Windsor now having to have the chance to go to the stripe on every single defensive foul from here on out for another 5 minutes.
And you know, this is one of the main traits and the main niches for the Windsor Express, just getting down to the line, either shooting a free throw or going for the 3-point play, as Loisel misses what will be the third free throw for the Express in general. But once again, usually the Express have close games, and they usually have the advantage because of their performance at the charity stripe.
Yeah, right now tonight, this has been prime free throw shooting from the Express. They're 24 of 28, 86% tonight. As driving inside, Fly in double team coverage, gets it over Stutz to go.
With the footwork to boot. Stutz didn't jump up, but you know what? It's the matter of footwork and the shuffle.
Meanwhile, speaking of shuffle, Keith has to shuffle with the double team. Able to pass it out to the perimeter. Loisel spinning, going inside, misses, battle for the rebound. Keith taps it around, gets the put back.
And Adam Cly is down as a result of that. He's shaken up a bit here, JP. Good hustle by Shaq Keith for keeping his eye on the ball. But yeah, Adam Cly got shaken up in the upper body area, more specifically his head. But yeah, looking at that replay, nobody had coverage on Keith, and Dwayne Smith was too late because Keith got the reverse shot to go, and now we have a stoppage of play.
Yeah, immediately being tracked out by the trainers. Might have taken a shot towards the face or maybe the nose, and that's going to lead to him being brought out for the time being. It's going to be bringing him back in towards Dyke Jr. As now Tate gives it to Boucard. Guarded by Loisel, gets by Loisel for the easy and one. And the basket's good, of course. Chance to make it a 1-point game for Boucard, the Canadian.
Of course, one of the reasons why he's among some of the fans as probably one of the newcomers and Canadian of the year is his ability to use his body control to finish all the way strong to the basket. You may have two guys right on him, but he uses that body language just to curve his body enough, but he keeps his hand right down to the hoop. No wonder why he's being compared to Garrett Williamson right on over to the London Lightning.
Meanwhile, passing outside is Keith. Around to stuff, back to Keith. Keith cutting inside, pump fakes, weaves through with the up and under, and he's got it!
And he flexes his muscles as a result of that. He's feeling real good about himself. He's feeling froggy. But once again, Shaquille Keith just converting on the same end and pretty much on the same play. He's just becoming comfortable down low after having some cold spells from beyond the arc in the early games.
Yeah, he is definitely looking like a different player, and it is a positive way. Going to the stripe that time to complete the N1, and what you call being in a froggy mood, I guess you can say. We'll discuss that off air. But right now, Dyke Jr. passing on the outside. Wood. He pump fakes, drives, passes back outside. Smith draws the whistle as that's going to be a travel.
It was all because of the coverage of the Windsor Express doing that master lock defense, man-to-man, and if that play would have went on, Maurice Jones would have just stayed on his guy and stripped the ball.
Almost stripped the ball, but of course with the travel, it's going to be express ball. They're looking to keep themselves on the train tracks as Jones. Paint isolated out. 2-3 defense. He cuts inside, gets it to go with the defense from Smith.
Once again, a lot of people not paying attention to the smalls.
Meanwhile, Boucard pulls out for the three, misses. Rebounded by Stutz. And Jones is going to rush down the floor. Pulls up, misses, gets his own miss. And the second chance is now going to set up as Keith. Having Stutz charge inside. Sizing up, cuts inside. Dyke Jr. pulls up, misses. Rebounded by Jones. Third chance now for the Express as Rayson turns it over as there's a whistle as it flies down the floor.
Major kudos to Maurice Jones, once again keeping his eye on the ball, and where the River Lions least expect it, he's right there swooping on the boards.
And it looks like we're going to have a near platoon substitution for both sides here as Shaquille Keith's going to come out. Anthony Otley Jr. will come on in. Ronnie Johnson will come in as well, with Chris Joseph on the floor, as well as Dyke Jr.
This has been a pretty intense game so far, JP, but the Windsor Express just capitalizing here in the third quarter. It's mainly because of Maurice Jones' ability to get those rebounds and finish strong.
Meanwhile, Joseph trying to get separation. Guarded by Otley Jr. on the outside. Johnson finds Dyke Jr. Trying to size up, gets it over Rayson, misses. Rebounded by Kevin Loisel. As we have less than 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the third. Rayson pulls out for the three, no good. Gonna be chased down for the rebound, no box out as that bounced all the way to the perimeter. Johnson misses. Boucard inside, gets the N1. It's gonna be on Loisel.
It's been the N1 story for both of these clubs so far. Guillaume Payon Boucard now waking up here in the third quarter, and now he has the advantage and the opportunity to go for the three-point play the old-fashioned way.
And that is going to be on Kevin Loisel, as mentioned, his third. Jones is going to come out. Omar Strawn coming in now for the Express. As Boucard looking to give the River Lions free throw made number 12 of the night. And does exactly that. He's got 12 points himself. Still a single possession game as Strawn, guarded by Boucard. stepping to the left, step back to the right, over Pollard for 3, no good. Rebounded inside by Joseph. He's going to find Dyke Jr., drives inside. Is this going to be a defensive foul or a charge? I believe it's a charge.
Yep.
And that time, talk about taking the body to get the contact for the whistle for the four, as that's going to be on Dyke Jr., his second. Less than 2 minutes to go here now in the third quarter. Eric Parker getting ready to come into the game now for the Express. Meanwhile, Strawn finding Stutz. He goes baseline. He slams it down one-handed.
It was quite easy. He just beat Torrance Dyke Jr. off the dribble, and it was real estate for him right down to the 10.
Johnson gets enough separation, eventually finding Boucard. Grazes the front of the rim. No good on the open 3. They've challenged him a couple times tonight on that attempt. Meanwhile, Rayson, avoiding the strip, gets them in range. And there's a timeout called on the floor. Coach Razzle wants to discuss things as the Windsor Express go on a quick 5-0 spurt and lead 89-82. And welcome back now to Windsor, Ontario, here at the WFCU Center, as the Express lead by 7 after a quick spurt of points. They've been looking very strong here in the final minutes of this third here, Aaron.
It's been pretty impressive to say the least, JP. We even said at the start of this third quarter it was just a weird set of events, and it was kismet for both of these clubs to get the basket. But once again, the Windsor Express just clamping down defensively and just taking advantage of the transition game. And plus, it helps the boot that they're going to the line because of their and one attempts.
Meanwhile, whistle drawn on the drive. As Dyke Jr. is the one able to draw it, he's going to go to the line to shoot 2. Now the River Lions are in the bonus. Both teams are over the limit from the strike. For fouls, I should say. Loisel with 4 fouls now. It's definitely something to watch here for the rest of this second half as Dyke Jr. makes the first.
Now we've seen Torrance Dyke Jr., once again, he's trying to shake the cobwebs off, trying to break away from his jitters as he knocks down both free throws. But it's going to take a whole lot more of firepower from everybody else in the supporting cast for the Niagara River Lions to capitalize on this. They're stuck 5.
They brought in Joe Rocca, meanwhile, between the timeouts. Otley Jr. He's backed into a corner, double team, almost stripped away, and it's going to stay Express ball.
And I mentioned before, the supporting cast really need to buckle on down and help out the River Lions, and they did. Double teaming right down the wing, that's one of the most common mistakes you can make in basketball, just getting that pressure down in the corner.
Well, Strawn, meanwhile, gets the inbound. Pollard coming on the defense. Driving inside, Strawn. He draws the contact, and again, the parade to the free throw line continues as Strawn will go to the line to shoot 2.
The way they're going back at the free throw line, you might as well turn this parade into a ticker tape parade because, they just keep on scoring. And you know what? When you look at it at the paper at the end of the day, JP, those attempts will come very crucial. The River Lions want to plead their case saying that there wasn't a foul, but they had their hands up and they tried to contest the shot, but unfortunately a little too much muster.
Very too much muster, I think, at this point. That was attempts number 31 up and 32 on the game for the Express from the stripe. Very tough to win when you allow that many attempts, even in this early going. As Johnson, he's trying to settle it up, finding Joseph. Joseph moves to the right side of Otley Jr., has a triple team come around.
Oh, look out.
And a charge as Parker is down. Parker's down, and
He's going to need a moment.
Going to take a deep breath after that. 3 different Express players were in the area. And a 4th foul as well on the drive as well.
Well, you see, JP, that's why I said that was a risky play. You cannot have clusters right there defensively because that's where most people are going to get hurt, and you would see why the River Lions could have gone to the free throw line. Just too much of the defensive cluster, too much of a risk. They really need to spread out more on the floor.
They definitely do have to spread out more on the floor at this point. And right now, Windsor, they're absolutely spreading it out. 3 players on the right side of the floor, 2 on the left side. Otley Jr. pump fakes. He's going to cut inside and cuts his way like butter.
Oh, my. And a steal by Loisel.
And Loisel going for the drive. Is that going to be a charge or is that going to be 2 free throws? Let's see. I think it's... And Loisel is down now.
Are you kidding me?
I believe it's a charge and Loisel is not getting up.
What did I just say? What did I just say about the defensive cluster on the other side? Somebody's fixing to get hurt right down there, JP. That's not cool. That's unacceptable in my book, especially with a steal like that. Luckily, Loisel's up and all okay, but a lot of players need to take notes and realize that this game might become dangerous if nobody just spaces out and try to stay on their man. That's unacceptable.
Half a second left to go in the third, meanwhile, as that is going to end things off. And what was a bizarre third quarter, to say the very least. It's the Express up 93-84. We'll be right back in just a moment here from the WFCU Center.
When it comes to cash loans, our customers will tell you there's only one choice: Cash Money. It's home of the original 300 for 20, where you can get a $300 cash loan for just $20. And with Cash Money's express approval, if you need more than $300, you can get it in minutes. And if that's not enough, we've got a kangaroo as our mascot. Okay, 300 for 20 is probably enough. So for cash loans for people who really care, come to Cash Money, home of the original 300 for 20.
Cash money, love my cash money.
And welcome back to Windsor, Ontario, as everyone's having a bit of fun here between the quarters. I'm Justin Prince with Aaron Sanders here, as it is a 93-84 game here. Quick thoughts heading into the fourth quarter, because there were some interesting moments, there was some not so interesting moments. I don't know how else to really put it.
If the fans could see us upstairs, I'm rolling my eyes right now, because that's how big of a quagmire this third quarter was. A lot of and-one opportunities, that's a positive side. But a lot of people are just risking their bodies. Too much of the defensive cluster on both clubs, because we've seen Kevin Loisel. We're lucky that he's okay. But on the River Lions side, you know, they're going through that same damage too. So a lot of players need to buckle down and make sure they don't take a bigger risk. If you have to take the mid-range jumper instead of going inside the basket and risking a possible injury, then so be it. But for now, both of these clubs, they need to play within themselves and not try to be too hard, or else this game will get out of hand.
And right now, we'll see what happens to start off this fourth quarter. River Lions bench calling for more intense defense as Strong gets separation for the three. He's got it.
Mercy. Oh my, Strong.
I think they were not calling just for defense. They were calling about the clock.
I could see a surefire reason why they're yelling for the clock. It must have froze up on the occasion. So if they do acknowledge that, then the basket might be disallowed here, JP.
Yeah, because I just noticed this while the shot was going up, the clock was only at 21 seconds, which there was about 7 seconds at the very least that should have went off before that, of course. This is going to be an interesting discussion here.
And you can see Joe Razzo, oh boy, he is hot like a firecracker, probably popping like pop rocks now.
Yeah, right now, let's shift that away for the time being as they discuss things here and figure this out. Officials have made the ruling, in fact. The basket's going to count. They are going to rule the basket counted.
My goodness.
96-84 is the score now. Boucard on the outside now, Johnson. Giving it now to Chris Joseph. Muldrow going inside, gets the pass, and it goes off of him for the turnover.
Yeah, that's all right. You know what? That was a good play right there. Chris Joseph, he got his head up at the right time, but Muldrow, he was just outbodied right there, JP, to get that good pass.
Yeah, very tough defense there. Mike Lucier coming in as well now for the Express. As Parker finding down low on the post, tried to get it to him as that was tapped out by Johnson. 45 seconds into the fourth quarter if you're just tuning in from across the NBLC Nation. As Omar Strong will set up the offense, giving it to Braylon Rayson. Rayson having a back on off. Johnson on the defense. Size it up to the right side. Pump fakes blocked by Muldrow as it's going to be brought up the floor by Joseph. Joseph tries the Euro step, loses the handle. Lucier going to pick it up. Finding Utley Jr. He's going to drive in, misses. Rayson keeps it alive. And Strawn is going to slow it back down with the second chance. Isolation. Going to wind down the shot clock. Play in motion with 10 on the shot clock. Rayson goes up over Joseph off the front rim. Devontae Pollard able to get the rebound as he's going to bring it up the floor, finding Johnson. Muldrow setting the pick. Trying to go inside, calling for it. It goes to Boucard instead in the low post. Outside of Johnson. Going baseline pass inside, finding Pollard.
That was a beautiful wrap-around pass from Ronnie Johnson. My goodness, that's some of that Razzmatazz plays I keep on boasting about, and that worked out for them.
Omar Strong, meanwhile, just pulls up for the three, misses. Rebounded inside by Utley Jr. for the second chance. Rayson drives inside and draws the N1.
Talk about a howdy-a-doozy of a shot right there. Braylon Rayson now coming into the swing of things for the Express, and he is right there where the Express want him, down at the free throw line, which they have been working real well from tonight.
It's going to be Samuel Muldrow called for the foul. As right now, chance to keep this, of course, a double-digit lead, 98-86, bringing this to a 13-point lead. Pollard substituted out. Adam Klein coming in as that's going to be completing a three-point play.
But once again, as alluded within the last 3 games, no lead is safe as a turnover is applied here.
I don't know what else to really say with that turnover, as that going up the floor is turnover number 9 for the River Lions. Ollie Jr. meanwhile, and it's going to be a turnover right on back. This time by Omar Strong.
Once again, if we have this type of quagmire situation like we did in the third quarter, this game might go out of reach for somebody.
Omar Strong going to apply the pressure on Jalen Tate up the floor. Tate drives in. He draws the late whistle. He'll go to the line to shoot two.
A late lit whistle is better than no whistle at all, but once again, the Windsor Express with the failure to communicate inside. They try to beat Jalen Tate, but they haven't. But they got to stop beating themselves up because of that turnover, because they got a little bit ambitious and a little bit lucky right before it came back and bit them on their foot.
And Jalen Tate making the first of 2 free throws tonight for Jalen Tate. He's had now 12 points along with 6 assists and 4 rebounds. He completes both free throws to bring that total up to 13 points. River Lions need a few more points, that's for sure, here in the early part of this fourth quarter. As Lucier, guarded now by Klein. Poked by Klein. He's going to lead the fast break. Drives inside, gets the N1.
Oh, good on him. Good on Clyde. Lucier unable to control the ball, but Adam Cly stuck to his man because he knew he's going to lose a dose of ball control after that sort of defense. But Cly, he stuck to his guns, and from one end to another, he took care of business.
Keith, Stutz, Harris, all going to come in, out. Utley Jr., along with Luce and Parker. Wholesale line change indeed, as you hear the PA announcer. Also being brought in onto the floor is Dwayne Smith. As Cly makes the three-point play complete. Single-digit lead now for the Express. Strawn getting some separation. Isolation now set up for Stutz. Almost poked away. Double team coming as Keith goes to the high post. Sizing up Joseph. Double team now inside. Harris, he draws another whistle to go to the line.
Once again, that's not the guy you want to foul, considering how tremendous of an exhibition he's been performing here tonight. So that could be the Niagara River Lions kryptonite should they decide to promote some defense down low. This is not the guy you really want to contest here.
And Harris quickly puts it up. That's his first free throw missed from the stripe. Way too quick on the release for that one. And he's going to go 1 for 2 from the line. For Harris, that was his first miss. He's 13 of 14 now from the free throw line with 19 points. As Tate setting up the play. Joseph gets some separation, puts it up over Keith for 3. He's got it.
That is a monster clutch 3 from Chris Joseph. He's now trying to get back into his mojo like he did in the first half, slowly warming up, but that's a shot that you really need if you want your confidence back.
Rayson, meanwhile, gets some separation, gets the bank shot to go on the fade. Back and forth with the scoring as Windsor going for man-to-man. That gives enough separation for Dwayne Smith for the easy layup.
And too much separation from the Windsor Express on the defensive end.
Exactly there. Harris, meanwhile, setting the pick. Calling for Stutz to go to the corner. Strawn finding Rayson. Keith thinks about the 3. Giving it back to Strawn. Back to Keith. 5 on the shot clock. Omar Strawn for 3. No good, but Stutz is there for the putback. Can't get the second chance to go as Boucard gets the board. 3 on 3 up the floor. That was blocked for Clyde. That one's going to be blocked from behind as there's a whistle, though.
Yeah, DeMondre Harris was right from behind. That's where the referees will pin the foul on. But once again, the Windsor Express, they had 3 shots to capitalize on that situation because they penetrated the River Lions triangle defense, but they were not able to convert. You got to step up if you're able to break their defense, or else you're going to lay out flat with egg on your face, as indicated here.
Yeah, Shaquille Keith called for the whistle. That is his 5th, too. And it looks like they're not going to make the move to bring out Keith. Of course, if he gets one more foul, he's done for the game, and that's going to be a huge loss if that becomes the case.
Yeah, that would mean Bill Jones would have to dig deep into his bench. I don't know if Kevin Loisel will be 110% following that fall in the 3rd quarter, but you really need some big shoes to fill if you're the Windsor Express, should that problem happen and occur.
Keith going to back up. Leads the offense, sizing up Clyde. Outside, Logan Stutz pump fakes. He's going to cut inside the key. Misses the bucket as Dwayne Smith gets the board. Tate quickly gets it to Boucard. Boucard driving, gets enough separation, trying to get a battle inside. 4 different Express players were there, and Rayson comes up with it. He's going to just charge it down the floor for the easy 2.
And once again, that was too easy. Rayson had nobody on his right side. He was about to have a lot of pressure on the left side, so he just took it in with great ease.
Challenging them again from 3 this time. Boucard no good. Harris got the board. Rayson got the last bucket for the Express. He gives it off to Stutz for 3. He's got it!
And that's too good of an easy play to give up if you're the River Lions. All your defenders are right behind the Express's charge, and there was no answer for Logan Stutz.
Offense breaking down a little bit for the River Lions for a split second. Tate trying to help calm things down. Pick set by Smith. Inside, down low, now to Smith, stripped away by Rayson.
That is a rare mistake down low for the River Lions' part.
And Rayson will slow it down. Everyone taking a deep breath for a split second. Harris, pick and roll. Inside to Harris. Passes out. Omar Strong wide open for the mid-range.
And that easy pass was all that it took to throw the River Lions off their game as Rezo picks up another timeout.
And with that timeout, it's 109-98 here for the Windsor Express. We'll be right back in just a moment here on Knoxstrom TV.
When it comes to cash loans, our customers will tell you there's only one choice: Cash Money. It's home of the original 300 for 20, where you can get a $300 cash loan for just $20. And with Cash Money's express approval, if you need more than $300, you can get it in minutes. And if that's not enough, we've got a kangaroo as our mascot. Okay, 300 for 20 is probably enough. So for cash loans for people who really care, come to Cash Money, home of the original 300 for 20.
Cash money, love my cash money.
And welcome back to Windsor as we have some breaking news in terms of history. We just got this confirmation from Chuck Miller, the league statistician for the National Basketball League of Canada. Kevin Loisel now has 9 rebounds for the game. Why is that important? Well, he is now the first Canadian to score 1,000 career rebounds in the history of the NBLC. Congratulations to Kevin Loisel, and congratulations to Rayson for the steal, setting up Omar Strong for 3, no good. And it's rebounded by Joseph. We're going very high gun tempo paced, as it's going to be a whistle, as that's going to break up the high pace from the River Lions with 6 minutes to go.
Once again, first off, hats off to Kevin Loisel. Congratulations. Hard work pays off and pays extreme dividends to Kevin Loisel, the first Canadian to get 1,000 rebounds in his career, so hats off to them. But the Windsor Express, right out of the timeout, JP, you even said it, high voltage defense and offense just being applied on the part of the Express. Now the River Lions, they'll have the ball with about 18 seconds on the shot clock.
Meanwhile, Clyde passes outside. Madro misses. Rebounded by Strong.
That was a pretty pass from Clyde right there. He decided not to take the shot. He decided to go right back out.
Keith having to pass it now to Strong. Meanwhile, fight for the high post between Stutz and Clyde. He's going to get it. Stutz, post hook, draws the whistle, but it's going to be a travel.
Major bummer as some of the fans here tonight show their disapproval. But the Windsor Express, they got to wipe that out of their memory real quick.
Tate going to now set this up now. Paint completely empty. Trying to tap around, rebounded by Shaquille Keith. Shaquille Keith will bring it up the floor. Remember, he's got 5 fouls, playing pretty well tonight. He's going to get the pick from Stutz. Rayson, low post now. Harris able to shut the defense and almost rips it down.
It was too easy. Too easy for DeMontre Harris. The River Lions have not picked up the memo about DeMontre Harris tonight. They need to step up on him.
Yeah, the defense pulled a Houdiniac. Meanwhile, Tate misses off the front rim. It's been all Express for the past 4 minutes here in this fourth quarter. As Keith, he's going to lead the offense. Rayson setting up for the slip screen. Keith goes up for the shot, trying to set up the offensive rebound. Rebounded though by Chris Joseph. Going to be Euro stepping inside. Clyde goes to the outside. Joseph, no one's there for the defense. And they challenge him enough to the point where he misses off the front rim.
Crowd wanted to travel on Clyde, but remember, somebody stripped the ball from him, so that's why the referees did not call a travel.
Rayson is now going to set it up, finding Stutz. Quick post spin. Tries to go under the bucket for the layup. Misses, but it's going to go off the River Lions. It's going to stay Windsor possession. 6 on the shot clock with 4:14 to go in the game.
Now, we rarely seen the Windsor Express, execute in a pressure-based situation, so this is going to be quite interesting to see how they play this one out from the baseline with time winding down on the shot clock.
going to be inbounded now by Keith, quickly to Stutz. They got 4 on the shot clock. Keith notices the clock, pulls up, misses from near the parking lot, as Johnson will bring it up the floor, being substituted in during that quick stoppage. And a drawn whistle before the drive. They're going to say, I believe, it was an elbow in from the Express, as it's going to stay Riverline's possession, I believe. Maurice Jones is going to be brought in. And Shaquille Keith, he's done. Shaquille Keith has fouled out with foul number 6 on the game.
But that means, JP, that the Express are relying now to their small ball lineup. Will it hurt them in the process, or will they gain a lot of momentum? We're going to have to find out here.
We'll have to see for sure. Meanwhile, Joseph for 3. This time no good again. Fly inside, able to get the putback.
And immediately the Windsor Express getting bruised by the River Lions. They picked up the tempo when it comes to their small ball lineup. So the River Lions, they have the momentum shift for the time being.
Meanwhile, Racing gets a screen from Stutz. He'll put it up for the leaner inside, open for the 2.
Too easy. He picked their pockets.
Pick the pockets indeed right now. 113-100. Fly misses a 3. Racing gets the board. Approaching 3 minutes to go in what has been a historic night in the NBLC. You have Carl English breaking the points in a game record. You have Omar Strong trying to get a 3 and getting a 3. And what has been a masterful night for him. And you have Kevin Loisel with 9 rebounds, able to get to the first Canadian in the 1,000 rebound club. Meanwhile, Joseph, he gets the rebound. Passed outside, Fly on the outside, Johnson for 3. That's no good again. Omar Strong gets the rebound, as it's going to be Jones bringing it up the floor for the easy layup.
Once again, I'm surprised that nobody came up to the River Lions' aid to stop Maurice Jones. That should have been Adam Clyde's assignment.
Adam Clyde, meanwhile, is going to pass it outside to Johnson. He's going to drive inside, goes for the floater. Can't get the bounce to go. Rebounded by Tamontre Harris once again. And that is Harris's 9th rebound on the night. 2 minutes to go here in the 4th. Bunched up offensive set as Strong draws the reach. River Lions, they're going to have a lot more of those they need to do. They're going to bring in a near full platoon in the substitutions here. Coming in, Marshall, Dyke Jr., Buchard, Pollard, and Tate. So a full platoon substitution. Harris, he's going to go to the bench now. Anthony Otley Jr. coming in with this being an 18-point lead.
I expect Tate to gather up the troops here for Niagara, and they make sure that they handle the ball with ease and try to look for those good shots from here on out.
Jones is going to slow down the tempo. He's got 6 on the shot clock. Just have to wind it down. Nifty moves,
Whoa.
Nifty basket.
Whoa, hold on a second. Hold on a second. The whole defense froze on that crossover. My goodness.
It's time for highlight reel time, I guess, as Buchard able to get it with a nice baseline pass right into the breadbasket. Windsor just going to wind things down. Dyke Jr. on the defense. River Lions would have to foul 4 consecutive times if they want to start intentionally fouling. Racing misses, bounced around. Marshall off of Pollard, able to get the rebound as Dyke Jr. And Pollard able to get the pass. He's going to get stripped away. Maurice Jones gets the steal. He's going to slow it back down, and that should just about be the dagger, as Windsor has 5 on the shot clock.
Oh boy.
Strong dribbles it off of his own foot, and it's stripped right on back away by Maurice Jones.
Here comes that quagmire I was talking about again. Let's see who will gain the upper hand here.
Yeah, just back and forth in terms of turnover to turnover here in the final couple minutes here. Express Nation standing on their feet. Windsor will wind things down up 120 to 102. Jones sidesteps. He turns it over. And Dyke Jr. almost stolen away again as Tate gets it.
So quick substitutions here, JP.
And the substitutions. Joe Rocca coming in now. Mike Lucier as well coming On with Antoine Chandler, the hometown player from Eastern Michigan University. 30 seconds to go on what should be one of the final shots, if not the final shot of the game. Under 24 seconds. Grayson just cuts inside, misses. Rebounded by Marshall as Rocca will just give it quickly to Marshall for the bucket. He's got the triple.
Yeah, but it's all but official here at JP as Antoine Chandler has the ball.
Antoine Chandler able to break through the press, and that should just about do it. The Windsor Express win 120 to 107 here on their home floor. And you can hear the round of applause after what was a very strong fourth quarter for them. Outscoring their opponents by 4, but really, it helps when you had a strong third quarter to tee things up and make sure you come away with a double-digit victory tonight, Aaron.
No question about it. The Windsor Express, they pulled through in the second half. I did mention before that both of these clubs really know how to step up in the second half, but the Windsor Express took advantage of the broken plays, of the rebounds, and it was all led by a plethora of players nonetheless. But you know what? They took advantage of it, and it was mainly because of those free throws and the and-one situations.
Yeah, that is for sure. You mentioned the free throws. 35 attempts from the line tonight. 5 misses, just 5 from the Express. Only 26 from the River Lions, as well as 8 triples apiece. When looking at things too, it was very close from just about every other stat other than points off the turnovers, which kept the River Lions in it at points of this game with 21 of them, as well as 22 second chance points. But in the end, the free throws and the strong finish are the things that put them on top for the Express tonight on their home court.
It's been incredible to say the least, JP, but now the Windsor Express, they're going to have a little bit of a break from the WFCU Center. Their next game will be a week and a half from now, and that's going to be a doozy of a ball game there.
Took the words right out of my mouth and off of the pieces of paper, as next Wednesday, March 14th, will be the next home game and the next game for the Express, as the Island Storm come into town. Tip-off will be at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be on the play-by-play call for that matchup. Aaron Sanders will be on color once again on Knoxstrom TV. Meanwhile, for the River Lions, they start off the month with a loss. They have their next game in about 6 days. They're back on their home floor to take on the KW Titans. And then they have a stretch involving the St. John Riptide, the Cape Breton Highlanders, the Island Storm, and the St. John's Edge, and the Titans again, and the Express again, all coming in on their home floor. That is a stretch from March 9th all the way to March 29th to just about cap off their season. And with that, though, as you see everyone going towards the exits, it's time for us to do so as well. With that, we'd like to thank you for tuning in for tonight's coverage of Windsor Express basketball here on Knoxstrom TV, the official broadcaster of the Windsor Express and the London Lightning, and as well a proud producer of media excellence in Southwestern Ontario. Next time we'll be here on the floor in Windsor once again is March 14th. But until then, next time, for the rest of our crew, I'm Justin Prince saying so long from the Rose City, and have a wonderful Saturday night, everyone across the NBLC nation.